Hello, welcome to this week's video guide to week 2. So I'm just going to go over the contents for this week. So first of all, there's by all means look at this page about the guide to week 2. So here's just the recommended flow for this week. So what that means is on Monday, it's good to do the reading, um, the discussion, the reading, the flashcards. Now, if you're navigating the Cengage website, you might see like a practice quiz. I don't really think that's important because it's just because the fact I let you take it 6 times. So I think it's better just to focus on the flashcards, which kind of helps you understand and remember the key terms in each module. So once again, on Monday, do the discussion, read the module 1, um, go over the flashcards, and then take the quiz. And then on Tuesday, you can do 2 hardware lab simulations, and then on Wednesday do 2 more. And then on Thursday, that's when you can go ahead and do the module 2 reading if you would like to follow this pacing. So with that, you also do the flashcards and then do the quiz. And then for this week, it kind of the assignments get to a point where Friday you only have just really one hardware lab simulation. So if you pace it out, it feels less overwhelming. When you're just procrastinate and wait until Sunday to do all this, that's when you're like, wow, this is a lot. So I highly recommend that you just do a little bit each day, and so that it's much more manageable that way. So let me go ahead and go into student view. That way I can make sure I can navigate the content like you do. So this is week 2. So I just showed you this guide. And then let's go over the discussion. So for this week's discussion, imagine that you won the Powerball lottery and you get the chance to build a computer of your dreams. Now, so for this discussion, only wanted you to share 3 components: the computer case, CPU, and motherboard. Some of you got really excited and just shared more. Um, that's fine, but you're just gonna have to repost some of the additional components you shared in this first discussion. So let's go ahead and so let me go ahead and show you what's the ideal one. So the ideal one is show a case, kind of explain why you like the case you picked out. Pick out a CPU, kind of explain why you picked the CPU. I'm surprised a lot of you guys went with AMD. Um, Intel is, has like a big market dominance on the desktop and laptop platform, but I'm glad you guys are into that. I'm a big fan of AMD. It's always good to have competition to keep Intel on its toes so it doesn't get lazy. Anyways, and then this is a motherboard. So just 3 things: computer case, CPU, motherboard. So here, Chris, he did what I asked, and he went with AMD, MSI, and a Cooler Master. So those are great choices. So this is like from Joseph, that he is right. This jellyfish custom case, it's really nice. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Makes me want to get it. So it's like a wrap, right? Like you know how people wrap their cars with custom colors. So this is like how you can wrap a PC case with really neat decals. So he went a little bit above what I asked though. So he went and included graphics card and RAM. So Joseph, just by all means, you can pick a different graphics card and RAM for our next discussion, but you don't worry about deleting it. So yeah, so this the way I set up the discussions. This should be fun, right? Anyway, so let's move on to our what we need to do next. So I'm not going to go in depth into each of these different assignments, but I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. So when you click on module 1, taking your computer apart and putting it back together, it takes you, another word for module 1 really is chapter 1. I guess it just sounds more technical using the word module instead of chapter. So here, there are different sections you can read. Um, click on one, you go through it, and then go to the next page, you just click the arrow. Some of them has pictures. So yeah, this is basically like the tool of the trade, the ESD strap. Um, like on a personal at-home use, the way to ground yourself really is just to touch the metal case. Um, that help discharges it, but it does. The best industry practice is to wear that strap to prevent electrostatic discharge onto, you know, like the graphics card is like over $500. You don't want it to short it out. Anyway, so yeah, go through the reading, and then when you're done, go. So what I recommend is not necessarily use the Cengage MindTap navigation, but use because I set it up in a way that in a way I prefer you guys to navigate my course. So go back to my Canvas page and then click on the next assignment, which is the flashcards, which I believe I have preloaded here. Here's a so what you do is ESD strap. You kind of say, well, it's something you wear to ground yourself. You flip the card. So it is a little bit more detailed, right? It's a strap worn around the wrist, attached to the computer case or the ground mat. So that ESD means electrostatic discharge. Is discharge from the body before touching sensitive components inside a computer. Also called an anti-static wrist strap or a grounded bracelet. I haven't heard of that one before. Anyways, so you can always flip the card and then go on to the next card, ground mat. So this by going through this, it helps prepare you for the quiz. Chassis, it's a computer case. A case, yeah, for any, yeah. Anyways, so this by going through these flashcards, it will definitely help you prepare for the quiz. So which takes me back to what you'll do next. So let me go on to the quiz tab. So here, this will be your first take of the assignment. A take starts when you click on the start assignment and ends when you submit the assignment for grading. You're limited to 6 takes of this assignment. Um, if your computer loses its connection to the server during this take, you'll be able to resume. Okay. If you return to the assignment within a few minutes. Interesting. To avoid submission issues, do not open assignment in more than one internet browser window or tab on. Oh, so yeah, I guess they don't want you to open multiple quizzes simultaneously. It does confuse the server. So just that doesn't mean you can have multiple tabs open. Just have one tab dedicated to the quiz. So, since you guys are at home, I'm sure you guys would be like have the quiz open and then have the flashcard open, and then you can scroll around. Um, so it's not a big deal. There's a reason why I don't really have a test because you write tests would need some sort of proctoring software that monitors you to make sure you're not. I guess in a way it is the quiz are open quizzes, right? Meaning you can look up notes and if you want to Google it even. So yeah, so it should be pretty stress-free for the quizzes since you have 6 attempts to get the best possible score. So let me go ahead and start it to kind of show you what it looks like. So yeah, you got 10 questions. Okay, so there are multiple choice. So it should be pretty straightforward. Oh, let me go back to the module. So the next thing to do is to start to go through the hardware simulations. So once again, just do these on the next day unless you feel like you have the focus and the energy to keep going. By all means, you can do this in a day. I'm not gonna stop you if that's how you do it, and I can't stop you if you save it until like Sunday until 10 to do all your work. But like I said, you can minimize your stress by doing a little bit each day. So now let me go ahead and show you a hardware simulation, which is over here. So this is for PC audio and video connectors. Um, let's see, please note. Enter the virtual lab environment where you engage in hands-on practice to help you learn the material. Your work in this activity will not be recorded until you complete all tasks and submit your work in the application. So just pay attention when you finish. There should be a button that allows you to submit your work. So make sure you click on that before you close your tab or close your browser. This will be your first try for this activity. Click on the start assignment below to begin. Now, be aware of this. If ad blockers installed can prevent this assignment from launching, please uninstall it. I don't think you need to do that. I have ad blockers. I think they're a necessary tool for blocking because hackers has figured out to load viruses through ads, even through Google's AdSense platform, like where Google's supposed to police that. They even, so hackers figure out ways to bypass Google checks. So even from reputable ad platforms, you can still get viruses loaded through ads. So that's why I use ad blockers like AdBlock Plus. I know some browsers come built in with that. So if it doesn't come with it, I highly recommend this one. Um, so all you have to do really for AdBlock Plus is to click toggle the switch so it's off and then just hit refresh. And then, so you should be able to just click start now and then it should be able to load the simulation. Oh, it's gonna ask me to log in. Does it have my login? Oh, I think it's because it's getting confused. Anyways, um, well, maybe it timed out. Let me try this again. Uh, no, I want to open a new tab because I want to keep this tab open. Okay. All right, so it's loading. It's loading a bunch of JavaScript stuff. Once again, that is a tool that hackers love to use, is JavaScript and pop-ups and stuff. And this is funny, Cengage uses hacker-friendly scripts. So here we are. Um, click on the correct port on the PC for the DB15 connector. There you go. And then, right, if you can visualize in your head, I plugged it in. So it's funny that you rarely see this unless you're in a business industrial setting where they tend to use older equipment because their philosophy is if it if it still works, don't right, you don't need to fix it. And if you do fix it, you update it, you end up breaking what works. So that they tend to use technology and to a point where they can't support it anymore. So unfortunately, that just means it makes it easy for hackers to hack. Anyway, so this is how you do these type of activities. To click next, and eventually you should have a submit button somewhere. So click that before you exit the activity. So that gives you the preview of the hardware labs. And yeah, so once again, just make sure you turn off your ad blockers before you start the assignments. And so by Thursday, you should be on module 2, which is all about motherboards, different motherboard form factors. And right now, really, there's only two main kinds of motherboards, one for Intel, one for AMD. And of course, you can argue there's our other motherboards that are more like for Arduinos and stuff. But they're more different categories that we're not going to cover here. All right, so that covers our my intro to week 2. So thank you for watching and good luck on your assignments.